So the idea of a stress bucket is to give you an analogy of what stress is and use that with your clients. So what we say is that stress builds up in the mind. So we give that analogy of the bucket and get them to name all the different stresses, all the different pressures in the life, and eventually that bucket overflows, and it overflows into three different mental health issues generally, but the honest truth is name your poison. But what we say in this analogy is it overflows into anger, depression, and anxiety. And so that's the first thing we explain to the client is the way you feel is natural because the body's trying to release all of these feelings and can't because it's mixed up in this bucket. Then we give the analogy of REM, saying that REM is like a dustman and at night time it takes a lot of energy for the mind to remove all of that stress of the day and in the form of a narrative and dream or a nightmare from one part of the brain into another part of the brain, the analytical part of the brain. And sometimes the bucket can't be emptied enough, quick enough, so the stress of the day just remains there. And so people normally hover around this top of the bucket, good days, bad days. And then what you say is we're going to begin to calm the mind and put the mind in a different state so we can start looking at these different stresses. And most people think there's a million things, but there's not. There's really a few. If we can start to change a few fundamental things in people's life, then they gain confidence, or we gain confidence, because I include myself in that. So yeah, we gain confidence and then we can kind of move ahead. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of those things from their stress bucket and begin to work with it. We're going to work it through as much as thinking things through to the peaceful conclusion. So we put the emphasis on the answer, but the first port of call is to calm the mind, and we do that through meditation or through some of the breathing exercises that you will have learnt in step one. So that's really where we begin. So go back to your manuals and have a closer look. So step one is the awareness, what's causing the problem. We do that through the stress questionnaire, the consultation form, the analogy of the stress bucket, and then step two, we begin to calm the mind.